While 66% of people are unfulfilled in their jobs, half are women that cite working in a negative environment. My name is Hawley Gray, and I'm the CEO of Women of Wealth and a managing vice president with Appreciation Financial. And I'm here to tell you, there's a way out. In 2020, my team was paid over $2.6 million in commission, an increase of $300,000 from the prior year. 16 people on my team earn $100,000 or more each year. I want you to be the next person I get to celebrate with. Let's chat. Click the link below, send me a message, and let's find out if Appreciation Financial is a fit for you. There's room at the top. I'll meet you there. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to our edition of our January Women of Wealth. Tracy, welcome. I'm so excited you could join me today.
Hi, excited to be here.
So today, Tracy and I are going to take some time to really discuss the Appreciation Financial opportunity and why it might be time for you to take a deeper look at what we have to offer here. Both Tracy and I have been with Appreciation for a number of years. We both have a team of a significant size. However, it's more than just the team and the significant size of our team. It's a number of people that we get to help every day. So, one of the questions that we'll just start with, Tracy, is why don't you share a little bit about how you got started with Appreciation Financial and kind of what that journey has been like over the last few years?
Okay, awesome. Sure, I'd happy to do that. So yes, I came on board with Appreciation Financial in the fall of 2014. And at the time, I'd been working at a local casino for 8 years because I had been an elementary school teacher and I had lost my contracted position in 2006. And I thought, oh, I'll just sub for a couple years and I'll get picked back up. But the economy turned, some things happened, and I found myself kind of being like, what am I going to do right now? I like teaching. I couldn't land a job. So I was subbing during the day, working graveyard shift at the casino just for the benefits, so I could be a responsible adult. And I thought this will be a couple years. I'll get back on track. And, I kind of looked up and it was 8 years later and I was really unhappy at the time with what I was doing. It's not what I'd gone to school for, not what I'd signed on for. It was supposed to be like a 1 or 2 year job, and it's 8 years later. And at the time I was really desperate and looking for anything different that where I could get back to serving people and feeling good about what I did for a living and being respected and having time to travel, not literally working at the casino. You have to ask permission to go to the restroom. I'm like, I can't live like this. So one day I was just on Facebook, and Hawley Gray and I have been friends since like the late 90s. And she had a post on her Facebook that said something like, hey, who do you know that's, good in sales, good with training, good, with all these things that I was reading. And I'm like, I'm good at those things. I didn't know what she was, I really didn't know any details, but what I knew about Hawley was that she was one of the most successful women that I knew in my life. I hadn't seen her in like 10 years. We just kind of like, gone our different ways with our careers and things. And I knew that she had some, issues with some mortgage things, but I knew she always landed on her feet. So I'm like, whatever Hawley is doing, I know she's successful at it. And you know what? It's time for me to just do that too. So I went to the presentation with just an open mind and heard about Appreciation Financial. It was not what I was expecting. If I had known that ahead of time, I may have just chosen myself out and said, that's not something for me. I'm not in the financial industry. No, I'm like a school teacher. I don't do that. But I had an open mind, and I was just ready for something different. And so I jumped right on board. I poured all of myself into it because I just was like, girl, you got to make this work. You can't do this for 2 years and then go looking for another career. You're getting a little bit older now, like make it work. And I did. I really enjoyed it. We were helping teachers, which is my passion. I love education. I have a lot of teacher friends. It was an easy transition. I started building my team immediately. Within a few months, I had the first friend of mine on my team. And, there were growing pains along the way because this was a new career for me, a completely different environment, everything. But I just went along with what everyone told me. I'm like, okay, I can do that. And just took, a little bite at a time, not trying to eat the whole elephant. And sorry, Hawley, if I'm going on, but and then what happened is I kind of found a groove. I was about 3 years into my career here with Appreciation Financial, sort of like I kind of plateaued, thought, okay, it's time to kind of take off and get to like another level. And I was really excited. And then pretty much overnight, one day, my dad had a massive stroke, and it just kind of hit everyone in my family a little off kilter. My dad was just like that guy in the family that held everyone together like glue. And I just found myself reeling, like, well, we got to take care of this, and rally as a family, all of that. And I was so grateful that I had made this career change 3 years previous, and that I didn't hesitate to build a team and all of that stuff, because I had the flexibility in my time that when I needed to be with my dad, whatever time it was, I could do that. I moved in with my 81-year-old mother at the time, just because we felt like we don't want to lose both of our parents. So I moved back home with my mom. Again, I had the flexibility to do all of that. And I remember the conversation I had with my mom where I said, Mom, well, the good news is I'm going to move back home so that I can help take care of you. Not that she really needed care. She's fine. But, just to be with you and take care of you. And then a week after I moved in, I found out I had breast cancer. And I was like, I can't even tell my mother this. Like, I just can't. And I just said, remember when I said I'm going to take care of you? Well, kidding, you're going to take care of me. And even that was fine. And again, it was so reassuring to know that I didn't have to worry about my finances. I didn't need to worry that my boss might fire me while I was, taking a leave to take care of myself and still take care of my family and all of those things. And even after, 4 years, I still didn't trust that was all going to be okay. Even though, my doctors and my friends are like, rest, take some time. I'm like, no, I got to work. I'm self-employed. It's my business. But I did. I took a lot of time off. I was able to rely on I've got a really strong core group of women on my team that they were like, we'll pick up your appointments for you. We'll take care of the things that you can't do. You do the things that you can do. And it was amazing. And I just felt so supported and knew that it's just not the words that I say when I say, you can make this work. You can have work and balance. You can have the freedom to do what you want to do, as long as you set it up and put in the time to do that. So
absolutely. And I mean, during that time, so while Tracy was battling breast cancer, a few months prior to that, my sister was battling breast cancer. So, and for me during that time, it was like a growth spurt in my business. Yet I was less time in my business because I went to some doctor's appointments with Tracy. I went to everything with my sister. And it was such a different experience because my sister does have a job where she works. She's been working for the same company for like 35 years. She started working at the credit union that this company had when she was 18, and she's been working there ever since. She's going to be 59 this year, or she's going to be 60 this year, actually. So that's a pretty long career. And it was a totally different experience. She was constantly having to submit paperwork for the Family Leave Act. She was constantly having to ask permission to get off early when she did go back to work so she could go to her appointments. She was very stressed out, which those of you guys that know about recovering from cancer, one of the biggest things that keeps you having that worry and everything is stress. And stress, in my opinion, stress causes disease in a lot of ways. And so she had a totally different experience than Tracy. And when I talked to her about it, it's just really hard for me to, not say like, quit your job and come over and let me show you how to do this, but like I said, she's put in 35 plus years. So she's definitely not doing that, but it definitely was a different experience. And I'm so glad that I was able to be a part of Tracy's journey from the beginning when she started with AF, because we've been friends for so many years. But that's a great thing about our business is we have a lot of people that we are friends with that, my husband and I are in business together. We have several people that we've known for many years that have decided to come on board and join us. And we have so much fun together. We're able to take trips and do that. But there is a commitment and there is a lot of hard work that goes into the beginning of that. So Tracy, why don't you talk a little bit about that commitment and what it looks like, the onboarding process, and what the time commitment looks like to get started with Appreciation Financial?
Sure. And again, like I said, it's a lot of times people coming on are transitioning from having regular full-time job with, being told this is what you do from these hours to these hours. And that's something to get used to, of having a business of your own, that, you need to be responsible for the things that you do. Well, with Appreciation Financial, we have just are implementing a new recruiting system. So we have a whole system, and it's really amazing that when you come in, we are such a family oriented business ourselves, and we're helping everyone in the community. So we have a program when you come in called 5 and Go. So what that means is, when you're a brand new person, we sit down. First you have to get your insurance license, all of those kind of things, so that you're legally by the state allowed to do what we do. We walk you through all of that, give you all of the information, even get you a discount on your training for that. But once all that's in place and you come on board with us, you'll get to sit down with your trainer and go over, like, what is it that you want to create here? Because it is up to each of us that, how much work are you willing to put in? What is it that you want to get out? What are your dreams? What are your goals? All of those things, so that you have a mentor and somebody that's holding that vision for you too, to support you to go and get what you need. And then when we sit down, one of the first things is we've got our 5 and Go program. So what that means is, your first 5 appointments that you're going to run with your trainer is with a friend or a family member. Like, you set up those appointments. They're really easy. Just get to say, I'm doing this new thing. I'm with my trainer. I want to practice. I want to show you what I'm doing. Can we just sit down and have a meeting with you? So once you do that, then your trainer, all of us that have been in this business a while, we have a lot of clients. I have too many clients. I mean, I have over 500 clients, and I can't feasibly or physically meet with all of them once a year, which is what we like to do. So that's why we're doing a lot of recruiting right now, is because even for those of us that have an active book of business, I want my clients to be taken care of properly, just like I promised them. And I'm doing my best. It's just that I keep getting more of them. So I think that sets us apart from a lot of the other, businesses in our arena, is that we're very transparent with everything we do, even down to, like, here's my list of clients that I'm going to hand them over to my recruits and introduce them. I'm there with them, letting my clients know, hey, I'm still here. Like, if you really, really need me, I'm here. And I've got a new team member, and they're going to, have the time to take care of you. So we have a system. We have complete training. We have the most amazing technical, I feel like that's the wrong word, computer technology that just got released, where everything's kind of taken care of for us. I feel like, wow, when I came on in 2014, that feels like Fred Flintstone times now compared to what we're doing. So did I answer that, Hawley?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You answered that. So yeah, really what I think is important is just the niche market that we serve. So like, when I came into the business and I sat down with my trainer, I was asked the same question, like, who are 5 people that will let you do some practice with them, right? And I, at the time, was running a volleyball club. So a lot of my coaches were teachers. And so I was able to set appointments with those teachers, because teachers is our niche market. It'll always be our niche market. We have a lot of appointments in the school districts, and that's one of the things that we love. But in order for us to get you started, you want to have those 5 appointments with people that you know. So because I knew so many teachers, I really wanted to dive into that. And so I set up appointments with teachers that I already knew. And I still have a lot of those clients today, because not only were they interested and had never heard what we set down and teach the teachers, they were really interested in the fact that they could be in a products where they don't lose any money. So we're not going to talk much about that, but that is just something that I really want to emphasize, because, a lot of people and a lot of people in selling insurance, they always are questioning, like, are we an MLM? Why are you recruiting so many people? What is that all about? And for me, it's like, a lot of companies set up a structure where, you bring new people onto your team, you are recruiting. But at our company, in order for you to make money, people have to actually sell the products, or they have to actually educate the teachers on what their pension looks like, and then provide solutions to help them fill their income gap. Selling is not really what I call what we do. I call it more like customer care or customer service, because I never feel like I'm selling anything. Everybody that I talk to needs what I have. I mean, in my belief system, everyone on the planet needs life insurance. I have a whole story, like Tracy does, about, how my parents didn't have life insurance when my dad died when he was 48 years old. As my brother's turning 48, I'm like, okay, thankfully he's healthy, and, we made it past that milestone. So, everyone needs that life insurance. My brother has a policy with me. He wasn't one of the first people I talked to, but now there's like no one I wouldn't talk to about the products and services that we provide, because I think they're so valuable. But we definitely are not a multi-level marketing company. We have a commission structure where we can build a team. However, those teammates do have to go out and they have to sell products in order for them to make a living, and for me to be able to make a living as well. Let's see, how much, one of the questions is, how much do you make and how quickly can somebody start making those numbers? So you don't necessarily have to give your specific income, Tracy, but just give an idea of what it looks like for some new people, some people who have been here a long time, and how that really grows in the insurance industry for us.
Yeah, and a lot of that, again, depends on what do you want. Like when I first came into this business, it's kind of like a catchword. A lot of times people, I don't know why people say this. I don't even know why I said it, but it's kind of like, I want to make $100,000. I want to make six figures. That's kind of sort of the thing when people come in, like, I want to do that. So I had never made that much money. I think the most I had ever made was like 50 grand. As a teacher and a sub, and really hustling to do that. So I was like, yeah, 100 grand sounds lovely. I'll do that. And a lot of people shoot for that in our business, and it's absolutely attainable. I do make over six figures now. Honestly, for me, it took a little bit longer to get there than I had projected. And a lot of it was because of my little, issue that happened at 4 years in. And because I was more focused on building my team, and I do make overrides off of my team and all of that, but it's like in the beginning, kind of getting it rolling. So it really depends on the person. I have a number of people on my team that made $100,000 in their first 12 months. We have agents. Now, this is more seasoned because I am more on the realistic side too, but we have one woman in our company that's had multiple months where she's made 100K in a month. I have teammates, colleagues that have made 50 grand in a month, 25 grand in a month. I'm pretty consistently making about 10 grand a month now after 7 years. And what's really amazing about our business, and I know for me, I don't focus on this enough, is that when I go out and I write an insurance policy on someone or a retirement product on them, we make money on the initial sale. But what's more important is every month that our clients are paying into those, we make residuals. It's not a lot. I mean, I've got some clients where I'm like, I make 50 cents a month on her. But when you have hundreds and hundreds of clients, and then I have some clients where I make $40 a month on them, plus I'm making new sales and, and all of those things. But it really, with our comp plan, and if you do decide to be a builder and override a team and all of those things, the first year that I made 100,000 and I kind of really dove in and looked at it, half of it was from my team. Like, it wasn't even me. I mean, it was me because I built them and I lead them and I'm in the trenches with them and all of that. But half of it was like, whether I go to work or not, I'm making 50 grand, which is more than I had made prior to even being in this business. So it's really not limited, that if you want to make more, you can. We have people making $250,000, $500,000. And it just depends on your drive and how much that you really want to go for it. And even the people that are making it, they're hard workers and they're consistent, but they're not working like sun up to sun down, most of them. They're just consistently working like really even 8 to 5, just going out and being consistent.
Absolutely. Now, there's a couple questions here, so I'm just going to rattle them off and we'll just take them one by one. So one of the questions is, who is this for and who is it not for? And so I'll just start by saying, like, there's really no limits to who this is for. Like, you don't need to have a college degree. You do need to get your life insurance license, or your health and life license is what I'm recommending people get now, because we have this wheel of opportunity where we have so many different companies that we can partner with now. So you don't just have to have your life insurance anymore. You can always get your health. We also have a company that we partner with. If you're already a financial advisor, we can plug you into the company that we partner with, which is called Encompass More. And so we have a lot of people that could fit that bill. But I have people on my team that were in the nonprofit industry. I have people who have been stay-at-home moms. I have people who were teachers. I have people who come from human resources, all walks of life. I have some people that have been in sales. I have one gal, she owns several nail salons. So I have one gal who owned a cleaning business, and she decided to change businesses. The only thing that I would say it's not for, and I'd love to hear what Tracy says about this too, but the only people I would say that it's not for are people who are not willing to change, especially if you've been a 9-to-5 employee for a long time and you have a mindset that you need somebody to tell you what to do on a regular basis. This is probably not the right place for you, because of the fact that we really are looking at people that are self-starters, self-motivated. If you can transition out of like having a boss, because you're your own boss in this business, it's your own business, then you can be successful regardless of what your background is. Now, it might take you a little bit longer. Like, if you don't already have some foundations in the financial side of things, like, maybe you're not very good with money, or maybe you have a lot of debt or something like that, it might take you a little longer to learn some of the concepts that we teach and train, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to do what we do, that's for sure. In fact, our CEO sometimes calls it bumper bowling, because we have such a good system in place and we have such a great service that we provide the teachers and educators that we work with in educating them about their pension, that you really cannot do it wrong. And that's why it's called bumper bowling. So Tracy, what would you say about that? Who's it for and who's it not for?
I agree with you as far as like, it really could be for anyone. Like, when I interview a lot of people just to see, if what I always say to them is like, let's see if you're a good fit for us. And also, more importantly, let's see that we're a good fit for you. Like, to be, it's got to be both ways. Now, absolutely, people that aren't willing to change, you have to. You just have to. I mean, even so far as, like I said, I mean, I hope everyone does know who the Flintstones are. But when I talk about that, I'm like, remember the Flintstones? Like, they played their record player with that like bird's beak and stuff. Sometimes I feel like that. And when I look back in 2014, I mean, just the technology has changed. I mean, look, we're doing these things. It took a hot minute for me to be like, oh my gosh, how do I run a Zoom meeting? And I did have some people on my team that were like, I'm just going to wait till the schools open up. Well, hi, it's been 2 years. Like, you can't sit around and wait. So absolutely that. And I do run into a lot of people that will say, I just don't think it's for me, because I'm not a salesperson. And I just say, come with me. Like, come with me on an appointment. Come and do this with me. I have an agent on my team that she's an agency vice president. She makes multiple 6 figures. She's one of the ones that made $100,000 in pretty much her first year. The first day, that's what she said to me. I don't think I can do this, because I'm not a salesperson. I can't push people to do things. I go, well, we're going to go to this lunch at this school. You'll see how we do this. We just bring lunch to the teachers and talk to them about their pension, and do they know what's going on? And because I was a teacher, and on my first day of training, Hawley sat me down and said, well, we're going to call on your pension and see what's going on. And I said, I don't have one. She was like, yes, you do. You're a teacher. Like, that's how much teachers don't know what they have. So we bring them lunch, we talk to them. And at the end, after lunch, and we're packing up, I turn to her and I go, you talked more than I did with the people. Like, you were worried that you can't be a salesperson or that. It's, can you talk to people? Like, and honestly, some people can't, but I think that's a pretty small number of people that are uncomfortable just talking to people. As long as you can do that, that's really what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, and then another question that came in is, do you have to cold call clients, or how do you receive clients? So Tracy just talked about one of the ways that we help clients. We used to back pre-COVID, go on campus and provide lunch. That's hit or miss now because a lot of schools are still closed. So it would depend on what part of the country you're in. If you're in Texas or Florida, I think you can still go into some of the schools. And there's a few other states that we have some access in. But like we're in California and Nevada, and right now Nevada is actually on a 5-day break from in-person school. So they're doing everything on Zoom this week. So yeah, that wouldn't be an opportunity, but we do have a very robust system on how we can get appointments. Number one, Tracy talked about the 5 and go. She talked about how we have, she has 500 clients. I have about 750 clients, and how we help you work with our existing client base to not only help them with other products that they might need, because there's about 12 to 15 life-changing events that could happen in anyone's life within a year. And so they would need to update something or change something if they have different needs. And so that's something that we teach you right away. The other thing that we have is we have a very robust appointment setting program where the AVPs and those of us that are in leadership, we go in and we purchase appointments from a company that we partner with. And those are appointments, not leads. So that's another way that we do it. But I mean, we're doing a movie premiere on Thursday night where we're going to be setting, probably about 25 appointments. We have about 25 buying units come. And we know that when we have dinner seminars or events like this, that we have a very high appointment setting rate because of the fact that people are just not educated on how their retirement works. So, Tracy, what else would you add to that?
Yeah, I mean, when I first came on, it was all in the schools. I don't even think I talked to my friends and family for like a year because there were just so many teachers that I could help. And a lot of my friends and family were teachers. So I was just doing that. And that's all we did. And I remember when I started, because my family didn't know anything about this industry either. And they're like, isn't it going to get saturated and you'll run out of clients? And I was like, have you driven around your neighborhoods and seen how many schools there are? And you'll never run out of people. But in the beginning, I would just, go and help the people that were right in front of me. And I wasn't very good at asking for referrals. And so that's something that we've implemented in the last couple years too, is getting our people better at ask for who else you can help. And I don't know why I was hesitant about it in my own business, because I'm the referral queen. If I go and I get a new hairstylist, I tell everyone, I just had this lady, I really love her. You should check her out. Why are we any different? I just saved you thousands of money, a year, you're going to get to retire. Why wouldn't you want your friends to come and meet with me? Yeah. So referrals, just whoever's around you. And we can help everyone. We focus on teachers. We have that market, and they're really limitless in my opinion, because even if we got everyone in the school, every year, some people retire and some new ones come in. But we can help anyone. Small business owners, we're reaching out to a lot of those these days because they need our help with some other programs that we offer. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to talk about that other program that we offer because it's probably a limited time program. So if you are a business owner watching this right now and you have W-2 employees, we actually are partnering with a company that helps you with the CARES Act from 2020, March of 2020. There was 3 different programs that were available: the PPP, the EIDL, and the ERC. And each of those stand for something. You can look those up if you want to know more about it. But really, the ERC is the one that we are really focused on right now. We're partnering with a company that helps to make sure that people qualify for it. They do all the paperwork and help you get all of your ducks in a row to send it to the government, the IRS, so that they can make sure that you qualify and that they can get that out to you. The nice thing about it is it's not a loan program. Like the PPP and the EIDL are both loan programs. The PPP had a forgiveness clause, and a lot of people got that forgiven because they were paying their payroll, which is awesome. The EIDL is something that has a low interest rate that you pay back over 30 years, which is another great program for those businesses that struggled during this time. The ERC is something where you don't have to pay the money back. And originally, when they first wrote the bill, you weren't allowed to get the PPP and the ERC, and that's why a lot of people don't know about it. So if you are a business owner, reach out to Tracy or myself. We can help you. If you have W-2 employees and you've had them for the last couple of years, we can help you with that program and show you how you can put some money back into your business, back into your pocket. It's not as earned income at all. I told a friend today, the bill was $2.2 trillion. If you're a business owner, you're going to be paying for it. So you might as well take advantage of the opportunities that they have provided for our business owners to be able to expand your business during this time. If you qualify for it, it might be a great way for you to have some revenue this year that you didn't get last year. And so it doesn't hurt to fill out the paperwork, see if you qualify. And if you don't, it takes about 15 minutes to figure that out. So the last question here is our industry, insurance industry or financial services, oversaturated? And that's funny, right? Because in 2020, we had like 250,000 appointments. We had more appointments than we had people to run them. So definitely not, right, Trace? So what else would you say?
Absolutely not. I'm just laughing because I'd said my family was worried about that. Like, Tracy, you're just going to oversaturate. And I mean, even in my own family, I'm like, you don't have life insurance? Like, I mean, I'm with Hawley, especially, again, and I say this to people all the time, I am a very smart person. Like, I'm pretty savvy on things, and it's hilarious to me that I didn't know I had a pension. But most teachers don't. And I was the same way with life insurance. So I just assume a lot of people, if they're not in the industry, they might be like me, where they're like, I felt like, I don't need life insurance. I'm not married. I don't have kids. Like, I don't care who gets, that sounds so flippant. I'm sorry. But you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm good. Everyone's fine when I die. But I came into this industry and I realized, oh, life insurance isn't like that. It's kind of like those commercials where it's like, this isn't your grandpa's Buick anymore. I mean, life insurance these days and the policies I have, they have living benefits. So I own 2 of them. I have one for my retirement savings because you can actually save cash in there, and that's going to be my retirement when I retire. And I have one just for the living benefits. So when I got cancer, I was like, hey, I got that policy specifically for this situation, and can you help me out here? It turns out, I mean, it was good that my cancer was so, they were able to say it didn't affect your quality, like your lifespan's still the same. Like I had good cancer. So I wasn't really eligible for enough money. It didn't make sense, but I'm like, I still have the policy. It's still there. If I have a heart attack, cancer, stroke, a cancer that's more severe than what I have, I can take from that policy, because I have friends that those things have happened and then they don't have these things and they have to take time off like I did. But I was lucky because I made more money in that time period when I was recovering from cancer than I did while I was working full time. It was insane. I'm like, how does that even work? But a lot of people don't have that freedom, and they don't have the backup to have the life insurance policy to help them. In fact, when I got diagnosed, the first thing Hawley said to me was, thank God you actually have insurance. Yeah, it's like, you're going to be fine. So there's always people that need it. And with my new agents, and I just, again, know when I was new and I was a little bit like hesitant to ask people I know. And I'd been a teacher on campuses, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go talk to her. Like, she's been doing this a long time and she's the math teacher. I'm sure her retirement's taken care of. She doesn't want to talk to me. And then things happened to those teachers and they didn't have things in place. And I was so mad at myself. Like, why didn't I just take 2 seconds to be like, this is what I'm doing. Why don't we just chat and see if I can help you? And if I can't, okay, like, it's fine. But what if I can? So I don't think we're saturated at all until every single person that qualifies has life insurance and retirement set up that they can actually retire when they want to. We're not done.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think that, we have there's plenty, I always say there's plenty of room at the top. If you watch the video, that was the intro video, we have these fabulous trips that we go on and all that kind of stuff. And there's plenty of room. And our CEO always even says, we'll see you at the top. And that's how I like to sign off as well, because there's plenty of room at the top. It's not like a traditional company where there's only room for one person to be at the top. I'm at the top of the leadership scale along with 10 to 12 other people. The position that Tracy's in, there's about 18 to 20 of them, and there's about to be a whole bunch more because we're working on a lot of promotions right now. So wherever you're at, wherever your starting point is, it doesn't matter if you work hard and you put in the time and you learn the business and you bring in the right number of people and teach and train them how to do this business, then you could be in my spot. I mean, heck, you could be better than I am. I hope that for the next person who comes in, that you figure it out more than I have, that you figure it out faster than I did, and that you take the leap even sooner than I did, because I know the benefits that it's provided my family, to where, you know, I can go pick up my son every day at 3:00 if I want to. That's my choice. I can do that. I can take time off. If, you know, Tracy can take time off if she needs to, because she's dealing with a health issue. And there's so many more great benefits to having your own business. So as the message has rolled by, if you have any additional questions or you want to set up a time to meet with myself or Tracy, just reach out to us through any of the media that you're watching this on. And Allie, our wonderful Allie, will help get you contacted with us and provide you with the information that you need. Allie's behind the scenes. I don't think she's going to come on, but all I want to say is thank you, everyone. She's going to put up the screen. And Tracy, thank you again for joining me today. Well, actually, is there any last thoughts, Tracy, that you just want to share before we close it out?
Yeah, I mean, I always have thoughts. I really think, you know, when you had asked that question, like, who's this for and who's it not for? And I got to tell you, I used to be an HR manager too. So it's like, I always want to, you know, not discriminate against anyone actively or even passively, right? Like I've got some older people on my team too, where at first when I sat down with them, I'm like, I don't want to be doing this I don't want to be working when I'm in my 70s. Why would you know what I mean? And I had to like set that aside. Like, that's not a disqualifying event. Like, what do you want this to look like? You can do that. So, you know, sometimes I really try to not put any of my expectations on people, to hold them back. And what I would say, if you're watching this and you're not in this industry, and don't hold yourself back. Like, don't do that to yourself, to where, like I also said in the beginning, like, if I had known what this was, I may not have come to the meeting, because I would have thought, well, I don't do finance stuff. And I was one of those people that my finances were horrible. So I would have thought, oh, I can't do that. So have a conversation, you know, a real open, honest conversation. And if you're not right for this business, we're going to tell you. Like, we don't want you to come on and suffer and, you know, not be successful. We want you to be. But what we know is that pretty much anyone can be. So don't do that to yourself and limit yourself before you've actually checked it out.
It's great advice. Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Tracy, for being a part of this month's summit. I actually get to spend time with Tracy. She's staying at my house the next couple of days, even though we're not in the same room, but we're getting ready to do this movie premiere on Thursday night. So if you want any more information on that as well, you can drop some information in the chat and we'll get that out to you. Thanks again. And we'll see you guys at the top.